Happy Monday. How did that weekend go? Does it feel like a Monday? Because I don't know, it's hard when we don't leave the house and like actually that idea of just going to work or going to school on a Monday. Sometimes I have to look at the day of the week and remind myself what's happening out there. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you're joining me, who's there. We'd love to see all your happy smiling faces. I did get the recipe up, but then I think it didn't stick. So I will post it to the documents of this page after this is done. We're making a smashed bean, smashed any bean, mock tuna salad today. That's Monday. Let's just do something a little bit simple. And it's Meatless Monday. You could add some things to this and we'll talk about that. I see a few people have joined. Sam, Brian, Krista. Hi, Krista. Haven't talked to you in a while. Carol. Hi, Carol's back. Oh, Summer. Hi, Summer. How are you? Hi, everyone. Okay, so mock tuna salad. It's not something it's new. It's been around for a little bit while. You may have made it. You may not have made it. We're going to walk through it together. And the base is some beans, and today I'm using garbanzo beans because that's literally what's in my cupboard. I didn't make it to the store before the mad dash and everybody bought up all the canned goods, so I'm using just what's in my cupboard. And you can do the same thing. Do you have black beans? Do you have great northern beans? Those are going to work really well in here, both of those. So I'm using garbanzo beans, and again, I'm using a lot of stuff that's just in my refrigerator. So if I put the recipe up and it says use celery and you don't have celery, skip the celery, right? We're going to talk about some other adders in here. So I'm doing some celery. I'm doing a little red onion. Some shallot would work great in here, or just white onion if you're not a big red onion fan. I'm doing some radishes because I have a couple of radishes and I like the bite of the radish. I found a little part of a zucchini that's really on its last leg. I was going to throw it in a broth and I thought I'll throw part of this into my salad today. I found a little edge of a piece of broccoli, so I save all this stuff, guys, and I use this, and some parsley. So, and we'll talk about some of these other accoutrements that I have. So give me a shout. Has anyone made this before? I'd love to hear from you. Talk to me a little bit while I get started. I'm going to bring out just a bowl, and we're going to make a very simple dressing. I'm going to use some lemon, some olive oil, some salt, some pepper, and because I have an avocado that's going almost bad, I'm going to smash a little avocado in here as well, too. And I realized I need my olive oil. So talk to me while I step over to my cover over here. Still figuring out all of my camera situations. I pulled out one of my old cameras and I put it on my computer right before this started, and it kind of crashed the computer. So I'm like, okay, I guess I need to practice that a little bit more before I just jump in there. Looking to see what everyone's up to. Rosie's with us. Susie's with us. Hi, guys. Let me know that you can hear me and how things are going for you. Okay, so we're going to start out with some lemon. I'm a huge lemon fan, and when I do lemon, I like a lot of lemons, so you guys get to use as much or as little as you want. I'm going to just use my little lemon juicer over here. Couple tablespoons of lemon, and honestly, you can normally get about a tablespoon out of a half of a lemon. Depending on the size, right? Depending on how juicy it is. I think all that, there's some dependence on all of that. All right, so I haven't got that much. Put my lemon aside. Watch out for your seeds. If you noticed, well, I think a seed got in there. These are rustic recipes, remember. So, you know, if you go a little bit more, if you go a little bit less, if you want to use orange in here, use some orange in there. There we go. Okay, good. I was rolling my lemon and giving it a little bit of pressure. What that does is it kind of just releases those juices. If you have a lemon or a lime that's really hard and you feel like you cut into it and there's no juice there, go ahead and just roll that a little bit and see, and you'll feel it get a little bit softer too. So try that next time you have a lime and you're trying to get some juice out of it for a margarita. So just checking in, make sure I'm not missing any comments. Awesome. Summer's going to make this today. Yay. Okay, good. So we got a couple tablespoons of lemon in there. We're going to add a few tablespoons of olive oil. Now, you could do something that's, if you're not a big fan of olive oil, tell me, let's make this interactive. What do you think that you could use? Give me something else that you could use while I continue mixing and matching over here. I'm using some, just some grainy Dijon mustard, and I'm going to add just a teaspoon or two of Dijon mustard in there. Did you see that? It splattered all over me. And it's on my fingers now. I'm going to rinse that off. Anybody have any ideas for what you could use instead of olive oil if you didn't have any olive oil in there? Waiting through some. I know sometimes there's a little delay, so I have to be a little bit patient when you guys give you guys a chance to actually get back to your computers, because I know sometimes we're working, right, and we're listening to this on the side. I added a little bit of Himalayan pink salt in there, getting out that giant pepper grinder of mine that I love so much, and add a little bit of pepper. I think I saw an idea that somebody could use some grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil is great in here as well. It's a nice neutral oil, so it doesn't have that flavor. So if you really don't like that flavor of olive oil, which some people don't, I totally understand it. Avocado oil would work really well in here too, so you could give that a try. So I'm taking my avocado that I have here, just giving that a little opening. It's a little soft, I can feel right on the edge here. It's getting stuck on that stem. So I'll just set it down, make sure I don't cut myself. Just give your avocado a little cut all the way around. Give it a twist to open up, and there we have our avocado. You'll see it really is just on its last leg, so I'm glad I got to this today. Now, if you don't have an avocado oil, just skip this. Just make your dressing the way I just made it. Okay, wait, now you have to hold because there's somebody at my door. Hello? Hello? Well, gosh, that's not awkward at all. I'm pretty sure it was Amazon and they didn't answer, so they might be ringing this. I apologize. Kind of fun to know that Amazon's still delivering every once in a while, right? So I have this half avocado and I'm mashing it in here as part of my dressing. As I was saying, if you don't have avocado at home, don't worry about it, just skip it. Doesn't matter. This is sort of anything you can get in your pantry, anything that you have in your refrigerator is how we're making this work today. Okay, let me just check in, see if anyone's saying anything. Oh, a few more people. Glenn is with us. Hi, Karen. Hi, Cody. Hi, Missy. Guys, chat with me. Let me know who's all there. How you guys are feeling today, and what you made for lunch if you've already had lunch today. So we're making a mock tuna salad. In my bowl, I have olive oil. I have some grainy mustard. I have some lemon. And I just added a little bit of half an avocado. Again, if you don't have the avocado, just skip that avocado. That's it. That's the dressing right there. Always give it a little taste, right? Because you might need to adjust it. Oh, mine is super lemony, and I really love a lot of lemon, so that works really well for me. So now take your beans. Any bean you have is going to work. I'm using garbanzo beans. It's what I originally created this particular recipe for, but you don't have to use garbanzos. If you have black beans, it's going to work just as well. If you have some great northern beans, whatever can of beans you have at the house is going to work great. However, if you have the garbanzo or the chickpeas, also known as chickpeas, there's a liquid this comes in. Now, with any other beans, you're going to strain off that liquid. With this garbanzo liquid, I'm going to strain it into a little container and I'm going to save it. This is called, does anyone know what this is called? I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm going to give you a minute just to answer and see if anybody knows. I'm straining this off. It's kind of a viscous liquid, and I'm saving it because I can use it as an egg replacer in different things that I'm baking and cooking. Now, it's not going to scramble up like an egg would, right? We're not going to have scrambled eggs out of that. However, I can use it in some different things, and that'll come back. We'll do a recipe with that later this week. All right, just making sure I'm not missing anybody. Oh, love the monkey bean shirt. For those of you who know my past, this was the restaurant I had in Denver, which almost feels like 2 decades ago. I don't know if it's that long ago. But yeah, I know. I heard what? Yeah, this is my restaurant. Monkey bean. I have a couple shirts, and they're pretty beat up, actually. This is about the only one that I figured I could wear in public. All right, we got our garbanzo beans, and just recap, we're making a mock tuna salad. I'm using a can of garbanzo beans. You can use black beans, you can use Great Northern or whatever else you have. Key here is you want to smash these. I've got just a big like fork. If you wanted to, you could take all of the ingredients that we're working with today and you could throw them in your food processor and just pulse it a couple times. Super easy, but not everybody has a food processor. In fact, I don't have one. I do have a very tiny one, but it's pretty small and I can't fit very much in there. I only make things when I'm making tiny little amounts, like my little crackers. And so you just take a few minutes to smash these. If you have a, you know the potato smashers? The potato smashers work really well for this. It's also a great thing to have kids do. Give them like a jar or a glass and just have them go in and smash this way. They're going to make a little bit of a mess, but you know what? That's okay, right? I mean, I know it's a mess to clean up. I'm cleaning up my own messes every single day in here, but it gives them something to do. Builds a little strength too. Okay, there we go. I got some smash going on in there. Now, it's Meatless Monday, which is why I decided to do the mock tuna today. If you have a can of tuna in your cupboard, make this and put tuna in there. Okay, checking it and make sure I didn't miss anything. Good. Now what we have to do is we have to add some veggies to this. When I think about a tuna salad, two of the first things that come to mind to me are, okay, there's three. I have celery. I really love the crunch of celery. This is one of those things, like some people just don't like celery, but I think when you put it in a dish like this, you don't taste it that much. You can see mine's a little wiggly. So again, some of my veggies are getting to the end of their life, right? But still good and still work. And if you chop these really small, I think most people will just get the crunch and they won't taste their celery very much. So I'm just going to do one stalk of celery. I'm going to chop up. A lot of people don't like to use the leaves of their celery. They're a little bit bitter, so that's the one thing. I just chop them up when I use them. But if you don't like them, go ahead and put them in that freezer bag. Remember we talked about a freezer bag that you can use for all of your ends and pieces and parts to all of your extra veggies. It's a great use for that. All right, I got my celery chopped up. That's just going right into my salad. Just like that. Get all those little pieces in there. I'm gonna do some red onion. Okay, red onion, love it or hate it. Who's my haters out there? Who's my lovers of red onion? Anybody? I know that it's usually not just an in-between kind of feeling. I think the key with red onion is chop it small. Like it always amazes me when I get a salad at a restaurant, and this is going again in my bag in my freezer. It's like a little pile just happening right here. And we're gonna make broth out of that. I'm always amazed when I go into a restaurant and I get a salad and it has these giant thick slices of red onion. Man, that's not great for anybody. If you have to go back to work, if you have to like talk to anybody after that, like just the essence of that is too much. Kind of just chopping these up a little bit. So I really think with red onion, the key with them is chop them nice and small. Right? Chop them small. I mentioned the other day, if you happened to watch, I forget which day that was on, my little tip for onions, if you hate chopping onions, it's one of the things that I don't think I found in the grocery store that's already pre-chopped for you. If you have a spiralizer, you take a spiralizer and spiralize the onions. Put them in a Ziploc bag, put them in your freezer and freeze them, and then take them out of the freezer and just leave them in the bag and just crunch up the bag. It'll break up all those onions, and then just throw that right back in your freezer. And then when you need onions, you can reach in there and just grab some onions out of there. Isn't that kind of a cool trick? Yeah. Or just get one of your friends who's really good at chopping to do that for you. Sam says, ooh, a little goes a long way. Yeah, red onions, a little goes a long way. I got maybe a little tiny heavy-handed, but I think it's okay in there. Michelle says, I found a big carrot still in the garden from last year. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. You're already like getting ready to work on the garden? I love that. We're still waiting for a little bit of that warm weather. I thought it was coming this week, but I think it's looking more like next weekend. I've got some radishes, taking off just the stems, throwing those again in my bag, and I'm just going to give these guys a little chop. Chop them up a little bit. Somebody else, my friend Heather, posted a picture that she was getting all of her little seeds started. for her garden and inside, and I was hoping to do that. I thought that'd be a great thing to do this next couple of weeks while we're inside. And I didn't make it to the garden store to get all my supplies, so I'm gonna try to order them. We're gonna see what happens. I'm kind of hoping that it works. Things are sort of getting delivered, so I think it's okay. Anybody else starting their garden out there? Anybody else growing a garden? I kind of want to know what you're growing too. I really want to change things up this year. So far upstairs, I've grown edamames, and I've grown quinoa actually. The quinoa is a lot of work for a little amount of quinoa, but it was kind of cool just to do it. Edamames grow really, really easy out here. I'm in the Chicago region, so and it's on my roof deck, and those work really super well. And I have another friend who grew edamame on his roof deck too, and he had great luck with them. Okay, guys, there are 2 radishes in there. Radishes are sometimes kind of spicy, so keep that in mind, especially with your onions, because those onions can be kind of spicy too. Ooh, Carol says they planted their garden last week. I love it. Carol's in Houston. So things are a little warmer there. Okay, I'm going to add a little zucchini because remember I said I found a little this zucchini that's kind of on its last leg, and I thought, you know, anytime I can get more vegetables into the salad, let's just do it. So what do you have in your refrigerator that you need to use up, right, before it goes bad? And save it before it goes bad. Get it into the freezer. We know how to make broth out of it. I'm actually going to come in this week too with some tips about what happens when some of your food starts to go bad and how to use it up, especially with greens. Now, if this were summer and I had some dill, I would use dill. I love dill in this salad. I don't have any, so I have some parsley. So I'm just going parsley in here. So I'm going some fresh parsley, cilantro, really lovely in here, depending on your flavors. If you happen to have some basil, do a basil mock tuna salad. Why not? All right. In goes the parsley. Clean up all the board there. Guys, that's the base of the salad. Just give this all a mix. The great thing is you can use this as, you put it in your salad. Dave's going to have a salad because he's got bread. We have bread for him. So he's just going to make a salad out of this. He's going to layer it up with a little bit of lettuce. It's pretty creamy, so you really shouldn't need mayonnaise. That's why we keep it nice and creamy with that avocado. So that's the base of the salad. Now I wanted to show you a few other things. An apple. I think an apple would in here would be really lovely because it'll be that little bit of tartness and sweetness. Another thing that I'll throw in a lot of times is just some sort of craisins. Craisins or raisins. I have these little currants. So some currants in here. I think it would be lovely. So I'm gonna throw some currants in there. Then I went digging in my fridge. All right. Here's some things I found. With the dill, I think capers. A little caper in here is going to help this too, because the other thing I said, there was 3 things that I really like in my tuna salads, and one is the red onion and one is the celery. The third thing is actually pickles. I'm out of pickles, so I don't have any pickles. So capers, I've done capers before, and capers are really good replacement for pickles. Olives too. I love olives, and these are even better because they are my blue cheese stuffed olives. So I'm not going to put those in because I'm going to save those for my martinis. That's where I want to use those. But this is another thing I found in my fridge. In the back of my fridge is my pepperoncinis. So I'm going to dig out a pepperoncini because it's going to give crunch, and it's also going to give some mild heat to the salad too, which I think is lovely as well. So let's just set that aside and let me pop these up. How's everybody doing? Any questions? Sam says, oh yeah, my dill is about to go bad. Can I freeze it? Absolutely, freeze it. Yes, for sure. There's 2 different ways you can freeze herbs, and I'm actually going to do a little video tip on this week for that reason. But there's 2 things you can do. Take your herbs, blitz them in a little food processor, or just chop them nice and fine. Mix them with a little bit of olive oil, and then put them in your ice cube trays. And then you just have these nice little pops that you can pop out of your, nice little cubes that you can pop out of your ice cube tray, and just use them. If you ever need just a little hint of flavor in a soup, you can just take that out and pop in that cube right in your soup. or right into your salad as it melts with your salad dressing. So I love doing that. That works with any herbs. The dill, the other way that I found to do dill is that you can just give it a nice little washing, lay it on a tray, like on a parchment lined tray so it doesn't stick to the tray, and set that in your freezer, let it freeze that way, and just toss that into a little Ziploc bag. It's a little bit easier that way too, and then you can just kind of break off those little edges. All right, guys, I was just looking around to make sure I didn't miss anything I found in my fridge that I thought would be really interesting in here. So there's our mock tuna salad. Drop it on between 2 pieces of bread. Add it on a little plate with a bed of lettuce. Oh, I forgot. I have this this little piece of broccoli I wanted to chop up. You can use the stems of your broccoli. This is a totally great thing to do. Just know, in fact, it's actually my favorite part of the broccoli. On the stem, there's this little exterior piece that's a little bit fibrous. So I tend not to chop that into my salads. I just want to take that little bit of those fiber pieces off, set it aside, and put it in my pile that's going to go in my freezer right now. I'm going to chop that and put that in there. Anybody else? What else is happening, guys? Rob's with us. Gretchen's with us. Hi. Yeah. Oh, Sam, you do that with tomato paste. Great idea for tomato paste too, for sure. Yep, absolutely. I did it with, I opened up a can of little hot peppers the other day, like those chipotle peppers. And you know, they're so hot, you only use like one at a time. And so I froze those too into little cubes. All right, this is a little piece of broccoli I'm just cutting up so I can get it in my salad. So for those of you joining late, and just to recap real quick, we were making a mock tuna salad today. It's Meatless Monday today. And so we used any bean out of the pantry. Today I used garbanzo beans. It gives it a nice stiffness to the salad and gives it sort of some toothsome texture. Toothsome texture. It's hard to say. And you could use black beans. You could use Great Northern beans. You could even throw some lima beans in here if you have them. So whatever you have rolling around the pantry, and that's what this is all about when we're cooking. We're holed up in our houses. We made a dressing. We did lemons, we did olive oil, we did some salt and pepper, and that was it. I mixed that together, but to go a step further, I did put a half an avocado in there. My avocado was on the end of its life, and I wanted to make sure I got that used up. Funny side note, you can freeze avocados too, right? So you can do that as well. Bless you. Do you hear that sneeze? I don't hear anything in these houses. Bless you. Then what I did is I took veggies out of my refrigerator and just pantry, whatever I could find. I got some celery. I got some red onions in here. I have some zucchini as well. And I talked about how even things like an apple in here would be really great. You know, some shredded carrot would go really well if you have that. Then if you want to go to another level, I went digging in my fridge and I found some pepperoni. And so I put some pepperoni in there. I love pickle in a tuna fish salad. I didn't have any pickle, but some capers really work that if you have that. And I had some olives. You could throw olives in this, which would go really well. And I did say I'm saving these ones for my martinis because they're blue cheese stuffed. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Anybody else? Just checking in if we have any other questions. I just want to make sure I get all those answered. I love that you guys are joining me every single day. Oh, one more thing. I have to go back because I didn't answer this earlier. I was waiting to see if anyone knew the answer to this question, and I didn't see anyone say it. So when I drained my can of chickpeas, I had just a can of chickpeas. There's a liquid that comes with your chickpeas, and I saved that. Now with most beans, I'm going to tell you to throw out that liquid. I actually saved that liquid because it's really viscousy. It's called aquafab. Aquafab. And so it becomes an egg replacer. Now it's not going to be scrambled eggs, but you can use it in your baking in place of eggs. I've even made meringues out of this. So I'm going to save this because again, in these times we shouldn't be throwing anything out. I don't love to throw anything out anyway. So I'll be sharing a recipe on how to use things like the aquafab too. You can use it in cookies and things. It's a little different to cook with, so it's not just it's not always just a one-for-one. Just know that. But you could search on Google, right? Aquafab. You're going to find all kinds of interesting recipes for this. A good way to save food, right? Anyway, so happy you all joined me. Happy Monday. And let me know, right? What's in your pantry? What do you want me to cook? that can help you in your pantry. I've got a couple of plans coming up this week. We've got some chicken coming up, and I created a new pizza dough recipe for you. There's even a gluten-free option. It's a new one. It's really easy, super easy. Anyone can do it. Don't need it. A lot of my pizzas are done on the grill, but this one's indoors. So I'm going to do that one later this week because I think that'll be super fun too. Anyway, keep in touch. So glad you're all with me. And if you're not in our Happy Eats Healthy with Monique group, join. If you make the salad, take pictures and post them at Happy Eats Healthy on Facebook or Instagram, I should say, tag us. And again, I'm Monique. Really, thank you guys all for joining, and I hope you're doing well. Reach out if you need anything or if there's any way that I can support you. Bye, everyone.